The third and final presidential debate is now behind us. Now the candidates can focus solely on rallying voters in the final days before the election, and time's running out. Early voting starts tomorrow in many counties here. With me, our political expert, USF professor, Dr. Susan McManus. And speaking of those rallies, Donald Trump in Tampa tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. And you can tell what areas are really important by where they're going at this moment. Hillary Clinton's going to be in southeast Florida. Trump is going into the more rural areas of North Florida. And here, huge. He has to win big and hit this area. And it's really amazing that this is the epicenter, but it always is.
It always seems to be, right?
Yes.
We've had a few close calls here, haven't we?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, what does that say about how the candidates are feeling if she's in southern Florida and he's out here at this stage of the game?
It shows that what they see in their polling is that they're concerned about turnout in those areas. And we know that if a candidate appears in an area and a lot of people who go are more likely to vote than those who don't. And so rallying somebody, and that's why Trump's having this event in a very big venue so a lot of people can come, easy parking and so forth. But she's going to southeast Florida because she's also going to raise money down there.
Well, which we can talk about the money disparity, and there's been quite a bit with advertising. You showed me a graph before we came out here that Orlando and Tampa markets are the most advertising being spent in those two markets by quite a bit, by several million on, I think, some place in Ohio next.
This is the most money being spent of the 10 largest markets in the country.
Tampa and Orlando, the most.
$81 million is being spent on advertising in Florida. Twice as much by Hillary as Trump. But over half of that is spent, guess where? Orlando and Tampa. Top two markets in the whole United States. So if you think you're seeing the more ads than anybody else in the U.S., you are.
You are correct. That's right. Trump has been using this rigged election rhetoric. I think we saw that front and center at the third debate. Is that effective for him right now? Because we're starting to see some interesting polls come in. Some show a wide disparity, but others in recent days have Trump slightly ahead. Is that working for him?
It is working a little bit
Why?
with some and others. Well, because people are concerned about what they see as a huge media bias. And when he talks about rigged and uses the media bias as the example, that's much more effective than when he talks about rigged in terms of voter fraud, even though, of course, if you listen to some of the more conservative news outlets, they can point to incidences of where they have had fraud in the past. So the sense of unfairness is what's more resonating than the actual rigging of the election.
I need a quick answer from you here. Okay, we're really close, almost 2 weeks away. Do you have a feel for this thing at all?
Right now, it looks like it's leaning Hillary, but you know, you never say never. The polls could be wrong. That's what Trump's counting on. He has to have huge turnout. He has to run the table. He has to have a Vegas-like win at the end.
A Vegas-like win. Dr. Susan McManus, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.